Rest without medication. Buddhism in you. Zen rituals for deep rest are not about adding more tasks. They are about transforming what you already do. Laying down your phone earlier. Dimming the lights with intention. Even the way you place your head on the pillow can be a practice of awareness. When approached with breath, each action becomes a quiet doorway into rest. Over time, these rituals train the mind to recognize night not as a battleground of worries but as a sanctuary of healing. 1. The illusion of chemical sleep versus the authentic rest of Zen. Have you ever found yourself lying awake in bed, staring at the ceiling, knowing tomorrow will be another long day, and reaching for that familiar little pill on the nightstand? For many Americans in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, this moment is not rare. It is routine. A small capsule or tablet promises sleep. And for a few hours, perhaps it delivers. But when morning comes, there is still a heaviness, as though the body shut down but never truly rested. This is what I call the illusion of chemical sleep. It is like turning off the lights in your home to create darkness, but never opening the windows to let in fresh air. The room is dark, but not alive. In Zen, we make a clear distinction between what is forced and what is natural. Sleep can be induced with medication, but rest, the kind that heals the mind, nourishes the spirit, and restores the body, cannot be manufactured. Zen teaches that true rest begins not with a pill but with the breath. Breath is the bridge between body and mind. Think of how often we ignore it during the day, rushing through traffic, juggling emails, worrying about our children or our retirement funds. Our breathing becomes shallow, hurried, almost mechanical, and when night falls, that same restless energy follows us into bed. No wonder the mind refuses to settle. Let me share a simple story. A woman in her late 50s, living in suburban Ohio, told me she had relied on sleeping pills for nearly a decade. She said they worked, but over time she felt less alive in the mornings, less present with her grandchildren, and strangely disconnected from herself. When she began practicing a nightly breathing ritual, just sitting quietly, focusing on slow, mindful breath, her relationship with sleep transformed. Within weeks, her dependence on pills faded, and she discovered what she had been missing all those years, not just sleep, but rest. This is the essence of Zen rest without medication. It is not about shutting down, it is about opening up. Not forcing the body into silence, but inviting the mind to soften. When we turn our attention to the breath, to the simple rhythm of inhale and exhale, we create space for true rest to appear naturally, like the sky clearing after a storm. 2. Zen mindfulness, unlocking nighttime emotional healing. If sleep without medication begins with the breath, then emotional healing is the deeper journey that follows. Many Americans in midlife find that the hardest part of night is not the body refusing to sleep but the mind refusing to rest. Bills, health concerns, the future of adult children, the silence of an empty house, all of these thoughts swirl the moment the lights go out. It feels as if the quiet of night exposes everything we managed to hide during the day. Zen offers a gentle reminder: the night is not your enemy. It is an invitation. It is the one moment when you can listen to yourself without distraction. In Zen practice, we do not push thoughts away, we allow them to come and go. Like clouds drifting across the sky. By returning to the breath, slow, steady, present, we give the heart a chance to soften. Imagine sitting at the edge of your bed, feet touching the floor, hands resting gently on your lap. The room is dark, but not heavy. You close your eyes and notice the breath. At first, it may be shallow, but as you simply observe, the body begins to respond. The breath deepens, the shoulders lower, and slowly the restless energy starts to settle. In that stillness, you may find old emotions surfacing, regret from a conversation, grief from a loss, or simply the fear of growing older. Zen does not ask you to fight these feelings. It asks you to breathe with them. I once spoke with a man in his early 60s, recently retired, who admitted that he dreaded bedtime. Without work to distract him, he felt an emptiness that grew louder at night. He tried podcasts, television, even wine, but nothing truly helped. When he began practicing mindful breathing for just 10 minutes each night, he described the experience as like setting down a heavy suitcase after carrying it for miles. His sleep became deeper not because he forced it, but because he gave his heart permission to heal. This is what emotional healing through Zen sleep truly means. When you let the breath guide you, emotions no longer control the night. Instead, they become guests who visit and then leave. The result is not only sleep but peace, a rest that touches the spirit as much as the body. Before we move into the final part of today's journey, I want to offer you a small but meaningful suggestion. If something in these words has touched your heart, if this message resonated with you, help us kindly press the like button. Your support helps spread peace and wisdom to others. Then consider gently pressing the save button and adding this video to your watch later playlist. Think of it as placing a smooth stone in your pocket during a quiet walk, a reminder you can return to whenever life feels heavy, or when your mind longs for stillness. With one click, you create a path back here without the noise of searching, without the rush of time. Later, when the world outside is too loud, you can simply open that list, and this space will be waiting, calm, familiar, ready to meet you again. Let's continue with the next part. Three, integrating Zen rituals into the American night for deep rest. If mindful breathing helps us heal, then the next step is to weave that awareness into rituals, small, steady practices that shape the way we live and rest. In America, many of us already have evening routines. Maybe it is a cup of tea after dinner, reading a chapter of a novel before bed, or checking the locks on the doors. These rituals give a sense of comfort and order. But when we bring Zen into these simple acts, they become more than habits. They become anchors for deep rest. Think of making tea not as something to pass the time, but as a moment of presence. You hear the water boil. You feel the warmth of the cup in your hands. You breathe in the steam rising from the surface. Already, your body begins to slow down. Or picture the act of turning down the sheets. Instead of rushing, you pause, Notice the softness of the fabric, the way the bed invites you in. These small details, when noticed with breath and awareness, transform the ordinary into sacred rituals. I remember a grandmother from California who told me her nightly ritual was simply brushing her hair in silence. For years she did it out of habit. But when she added mindful breathing, counting each slow stroke with her breath, she said it became the most peaceful part of her day. It feels, she told me, like I am brushing away the noise of the world. Soon after, she found herself falling asleep more easily. Not from exhaustion but from calm. Zen rituals for deep rest are not about adding more tasks. They are about transforming what you already do. Laying down your phone earlier. Dimming the lights with intention. Even the way you place your head on the pillow can be a practice of awareness. When approached with breath, each action becomes a quiet doorway into rest. Over time, these rituals train the mind to recognize night not as a battleground of worries but as a sanctuary of healing. True rest without medication is possible when we allow our evenings to become rituals of presence. Through breath, through awareness, through the gentle rhythm of night, we discover not only better sleep but a more balanced life. Thank you for sharing this time with me. If you felt a sense of calm, if these stories and practices resonated with your own journey, I invite you to continue walking this path together. Subscribe to Buddhism in You, and let each breath guide you toward deeper rest, emotional healing, and the balanced life you deserve.